Hi. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about if you're a completely new publisher, and I was saying you could kind of take a drive-through category and target it. And in the video, I said sort of write an adventure and release it every couple of weeks, and to gain the maximum amount of screen real estate. And of course, if you release one and get a few sales, that will start your mailing list. And when you release the second one, you can email the first people, and that might drive a few more sales for the second adventure. And then you repeat. So every time you release a new adventure, you can email the previous people, but you constantly focus on one category. Which is part of a tree to then try and become a features publisher. Now, what I decided to do was to it, actually do it myself with a game I'd not released any adventures for before. In a category I had very little or no presence at all, just to show how it works. So I took the game Eldritch Tales, which is no, it's only gold, which means it sold less than 1,000 copies. So we're talking about a very small audience right from the start. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's in the old school revival category, swords and wizardry, which is the rule system at the base of it, and other OSR. So let's have a look at some of those categories. So this is no, so if you search for Eldritch Tales, um, the first things you get are character sheet and the compatibility license and logo, which I downloaded the logo. Um, I'm not using the character sheet in the adventures, but if I was to produce any stock NPCs, I would probably use the character sheet for those. There's the actual rules. There's a GM screen, and then we get into the third party stuff. Okay, so basically those four titles is the sum total of all the official releases, I think, for this game system. So it's a really small game system. So as you start going down uh, the third party things, you've got um, Trail of Cthulhu, Stunning Eldritch Tales. Now, that is a completely different game, which happens to use the name of Eldritch Tales as part of their name. Um, oh no, Eldritch Inquirer, that's another. So that there are a few more Raven God games, and then you get other stuff. That's one of mine. Now, because of the way I interlink all my products, when DriveThru sees that I've got some Eldritch Tales, it follows the links on those, and you end up with all of my solo rules popping up in the search for it because they all interconnect. Now, this one here is actually written for Eldritch Tales, okay? And that's the one that it's picking up and then seeing all these other links. But once you get past those, here, these three are the three little one-shot adventures that I created over the past few weeks. So I did one the week that I made the video that I was telling you about, one last week, and the top attic was released 3 days ago, 2.5 days ago. So just in a basic search, all three are showing up. But now let's have a look at the categories. This is the main OSR category. It's absolutely massive. Um, I do not feature in here, and so I've released these three titles, one a week for 3 weeks. Now look, there's nothing on the first page. This is actually just lurking on the edge of the screen. That's the first one. All right, so there's the top attic that was released only 2.5 days ago. If we scroll back, another couple of screenfuls. Um, there you go. There's a Bloody Feast. That was the second one. That was 2 weeks ago. And then if we scroll back even more, um, come on, catch up. There we go. There we go. There's horror at the old White House. And you can see the little compatibility logo on the covers there. So this category is so busy that it's like 2 or 3 screenfuls each week of new titles. So no surprise there, I don't feature. But let's have a look at some of the other ones. So this is the Sword and Wizardry category, which Eldritch Tales is based upon. In the hottest ones, there you go. There's the top attic. That was released this week and it's in the top 10. If I scroll back, there was a Bloody Feast. That was last week's. That's number 16. And there's another one, number 47, Horror at the Old White House. That was the first one 3 weeks ago. Is still in the hottest. Okay, it's a long way down, but I'm still featuring in the hottest. I now feature in the top 15 publishers for Swords and Wizardry. Looking at the newest titles, you've got here, and there you go. There was the third one there. We are you're talking 3 or 4 titles a week, which means releasing on a regular basis. If there's only 3 or 4 titles a week, a weekly release will get you 1 or 2 in plain view immediately. And then as we scroll down, it's the second most popular. This is sorted by popularity, which uses the star ratings. If you're interested, so uh, we've got the second most popular and the fifth most popular, and that's another one of mine. And there you go. And I think it's the eighth, is it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. So second, fifth, and 13th most popular titles. So that's quite a lot of screen space just from showing how these work. Now, these numbers are really, really small. I chose Eldritch Tales because it's not a very popular system. It's a niche system, so there isn't going to be. Um, Basically, I'm trying to manipulate a drive-through category, and I don't want to destroy someone else's business doing it. But what you would expect is a high point, and it will tail off rapidly. On the first days when you get your on the drive-through homepage as a newest title, and any mailing list, all those things go off. You send all those out first on the first day to try and get as much interest as possible. So you get a spike at the beginning, and then it tails away to just the organic sales afterwards. And so this first sort of decline there, that is the first day's launch followed by the decline. This second spike is the second title being released, and that also created. So if you can't see the number, hang on, I need to shift this a second. Right, the numbers are very, very small, but so you've got this kind of 4, 6, 1, 3, 1, 0. Okay, so here you go. There's the initial spike, and then it trails away to almost nothing. And then what happens is when I release the second one, here you go. That one wasn't so popular, but I think I worked out why. Releasing that one created another little group of sales for the original title. You see that? There's a couple of extra sales there. And then it drifts away again. Now, when I released the third title, this one was actually more popular because I learned the lesson the first time around. But that also drove a sale of the previous title. So the new ones are driving sales to the previous ones. And that is why you get this initial drop off. a little bit of revitalization, it drops off, and then it comes up bigger. And say this is yesterday there, and here we've got the different titles, so you can see the um, how Feast, the grey line, has you know, coincides with a little bit of renewed interest in the first title, and then the Attic comes in at the end, and that also drags some sales from the next one. If I was to keep this up, what would probably happen is every you would get a sawtooth pattern in the sales with a spike with every new release, but every new release would drive sales of the previous titles, so it would drag them all along. So yeah, at the moment, over the last 3 weeks, I've got 39 sales from this. The best one was the first one with 18 sales. The second best was this week's with 15 so far. And the way it's going, I think I've had some sales today of it. It's going to be, it's going to exceed the first one. And that's really what you want to see in the long run, is your new releases outselling the early releases, because the new releases gain from the people on your mailing list that are interested in what you're doing. So the mailing list will grow, so the sales should grow. So you end up with this kind of sawtooth, but with the spikes getting bigger and bigger as you go. So now none of these are setting the world on fire. That wasn't the intention. It was more to demonstrate how you can do it. And rather than me just sitting here saying, "Oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do the other," I thought I would actually do it to show you. So yeah, you can see how it is working. Um, I had a few people that were interested in Eldritch Tales on my mailing list previously, because I have one other Eldritch Tales title I released in 2019. Pardon me. Yeah, I think it was 2019. It might have been 2020, but I think it was 2019. And so there were a few people there already. But yeah, you can build your audience as you go. And if I was just producing little one-shot adventures, one-page adventures, just so I could create them fast enough to show you some results. What you could do is actually create bigger adventures and stockpile them, so you can then you don't have to write and release. You can write some adventures, send them out to playtesters, get them play tested, get them all back, and then when you're happy with them, then when you've got a few queued up, you can then start to release them and build your audience. Okay, so yeah, that was it. That's what I was talking about the previous week. So I have gained a listing in of the Swords and Wizardry category. The final category that it featured in was the other OSR, which is a big and busy category. Now I already had this. Someone pointed out. I was already in here. So in the hottest, I don't think I feature, and if I do, it will be a long way down, because this is a big, well-established category with many, many titles. Oh, there you go, 62. So a title that was, I think it was the ninth hottest in Swords and Wizardry, is 62nd in this category. Um, Under the newest, so yeah, there we go. There's one. There's the next, and there's the next. So I'm guessing one per page. There's basically 9 or 10 new releases every week in this category. And then when we get to the popularity, there's one. That's this week's. There's another, and I don't think it's in there. No, so 2 are in the most popular listing. So I'm still guessing a fair amount of screen space a chance to show off what I'm doing in a category that's getting 10 new releases each week, and the hottest titles are some real big name monsters. Um, Worlds Without Number, Stars Without Number, Dark Place and Demigod. These are all big name games. So yeah, I'm just showing you that what I was suggesting you have a go at works, and you can build yourself. People may not have will have no idea who you are. When you look at these titles, it doesn't tell you who the publisher is, but your publisher name will eventually feature um, in this category. And there's some big names in here who I am now rubbing shoulders with. That's Kevin Crawford there, Lamentation of the Flame Princess, David Kelly, that's big. Gruen Paris Studios, Fire Ruby, Bloats Games, Andrew McMill, that's Flames of Freedom, uh, Blackbirds, and Neverland. Yeah, so there's some big names, big titles in there, and you can compete against them by guessing your name into these categories. Okay, so yeah, that's what I wanted to show you this week. I will. Oh, there's one other thing I was going to show you. If I can find that newest. Where was it? Um, yeah, okay. So this was the newest one I released. Um, so yeah, this is my product page. I've created this bit here, Hozzie's Eldritch Tales titles, and these are cross-linking to well the three adventures I've released as part of this experiment, and my original title, which is a silver bestseller. Actually, is it silver? It might actually have stepped up to Electrum. But this little footer is creating will create more cross links and will generate more cross sales. So as I create, I'm going to do at least one more of these. It will when it goes in, it will get the footer. Anyone looking at that, which is new, so it'll go on the mailing list, it'll go on DriveThru's homepage, will see that there are other one-page adventures. Oh, yeah, it's still silver. Right. I thought it might have gone into Electrum. Okay, yeah, so that's it. These little things I've been creating for you, about 900 words, 1,000 words. I'm pretty sure some people are probably picking them up just because I've got floor plans you can use. Their public domain. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's a catch up on what I was saying a few weeks ago. Thank you for watching.